Alrighty, this is the last video and I'm invisible. And the reason I'm invisible is because I don't want to mess up my screen. It took me a bit to try to get this lined up on the film here. So what I'm doing today is a very, very simple setup. Basically what I'm going to do is hook up one microphone and send that signal to the mains and to one monitor. And so the first thing we'll need to do is turn on the power amps. So I turn on the top and then turn on the bottom, okay? Because everything else is plugged in and that's what we want it to be. We want it to have that. You can hear our wonderful ground hum issue. Hopefully next year we can get another new power amp that doesn't have that issue. Okay, so again, the main things that we're going to be using, again, this is the fader. That's the signal that's going to be sending the signal to the, oh yeah, you can hear a little bit of WCSF here today too. It's kind of quiet, so everything is there. So, okay, so that's the main fader that's going to be sending to the PA. But before we do that, what do we always have to do? We have to get the input gain set on the mixer. Okay, and that one is right up here. Okay, we've got basically the input gain here. This is the phantom power, and this is if we want to use a firewire. We're not using that today, so we're not using phantom. So I'm going to just talk into this, and we'll see what we got in terms of volume. Hey, 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 hey. 1, 2, hey, 1, 2. You can see it kind of moving up on the level over here. This is cool. This is, you can say we've got some signal. Okay, so that's a good indicator of what we have. Okay, so now the issue is, the reason why we're not getting any sound at the moment is because we have to route this some way. Okay, so when the way we have it set up here, let's see, maybe let's just a touch. Yeah, now we got that. There we go. So we had it in the past, we had it set up, you know, drums, guitars, vocals, piano. Today we're just using, what I'm going to do is use this in conjunction with a sub 1. Okay, so what has to happen is you have to route it to one of these subs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you could just do it to the main. You know, that would be just as well. I'll do both today just to show you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this routed to sub 1. Okay, so I need to turn sub 1 up some, and then I need to turn our fader that's going to be giving us this. And then here's our main signal. Hey, 1, 2, hey, 1, 2, hey, 1, 2. You can hear it coming in. There it is. Okay, so there's our signal going into the PA. So I have it there, there, and there. Okay, so that's basically how you would set it. Now, if I had it set up where I took, like, for example, sub 1 off, then I have no sound because it's not routed to anything. It's not routed to any of these 4. That's a very critical thing when you're, basically the subs are like subgroups. So basically what you're doing here is you're utilizing these to, like, for example, blend all the drums, blend all the vocals or guitars or keys or whatever way you want to set them up. So, but right now, it's not, the reason why we're not getting any signal is because we're not sending it to any of these subs. So if I go back to number 1, then I go, oh, there it is. Okay, so, and here's the other thing I was just saying before. The other, you could just go like this, take that off, and then go to mains, and then it'll be just all to the mains. So this thing, these are moot. They don't have any, you can do anything with them here. This is not going to affect anything because it's going directly. It's saying, okay, the signal is coming in right here. Okay, this is the input gain. Okay, then it goes, this fader sends the signal to the main. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. It's as close to an analog board as probably you can get in a digital world. So that's very cool. But we'll go back to, for example, we'll go back to making it in sub 1. Take it out of mains, go back to sub 1, and then goes into that. Okay, just because that's an important thing to be able to do. Now, So now that's just your basic, signal flow. But now what we have is, this is the interesting thing, and this is what's different about the digital boards as opposed to the analog boards. So right here, what we have is a select button. The select button allows us to be able to utilize this blue channel. This blue channel has a few different features. It has a high-pass filter. And so, for example, if I, like right here, this one here, they're all in small increments. But so if I go, okay, I want this to be a high-pass filter way up there. Look what happens to my sound. So it's saying at 1K, everything above 1K is coming in. So you have, this is a useful tool, just kind of a broadband high-pass filter. And then we have a gating thing too. So if we're using this obviously with probably more like guitars or drums, we have the gate, we have to turn it on. So that means the signal's not going to come through until it hits a certain threshold. So, right, like if I'm talking soft, it's gating. Hey, now you can see it over there where it says the GR, gain reduction. I have to go right now. See, you're hearing me through the microphone that's recording this, but not through the PA. Now the PA is letting me go. Okay, there you go. See? Okay, so again, that's the gating feature. So now we don't really need that today. So the other ones that we have that are really awesome in this is a compressor and an EQ. Okay, so the compressor, to be able to work, all of these on the fat channel have to be on. So when you turn them on, then they actually are a compressor. So right now, you can see, okay, we have our traditional things. It says threshold, ratio, attack, release, gain. So we want the threshold way, so it kicks in really quick. It's like that. You can see it too on the board. See the red there at the top right here? This means that's gain reduction. So that's really kicking in. So we don't probably want it that hot. So you can see it's kicking in. That's what a compressor is supposed to do. Again, we have our ratio. We have it set right here to 4.5 to 1, something like that, kind of close to there. This one, the attack is in milliseconds. So how fast it engages. So if I go here, beep, yeah, it's working quick. And so release is how in milliseconds, but it's a lot, slower. It goes all the way down to, 1 second. That's 1,000 seconds. So 1,000 milliseconds. And then this is one of the most important buttons on the right here on the mixer. It's called the gain, and this is the makeup gain after the compressor. So a lot of times when you're compressing things, hey, I want to compress. Well, then you can lift up the gain after it's compressed. And so that gives you a compressed signal, but then you can make up the gain. That is like an extra volume control, one of the most important in doing live sound. So that's again a quick overview. So again, we have high pass filter, gate, then we have our threshold. Our threshold, ratio, attack, release, gain, which is the features of a compressor right there. You can see. Okay, so the last thing here is we have our 4-band EQ. Okay, so if we use this EQ, we have to again turn it on so we can hear it, gaining things. Here, let's do one at a time. So here's the lows, for example. We'll do, okay, so if we say we want to boost it, we're going to gain it here. We say, let's say around here, A1, 2, A1, 2. If I pull it back, we can cut, okay, just like that. So we're at about 120, okay, which is like some of the lower end of my voice. And so you can see it like gaining or cutting, okay. So there we go. So that's, we'll put it around there. We'll cut a little bit. Okay, so then here's our kind of low mids. Okay, so we have a low mid, dial in the center point, and here we go. You can hear it scroll through. So this is a good way to do it. You could just kind of go like this. Hey. You don't usually have this opportunity when you're doing sound. You just have to kind of dial in the sound here. I'm just scrolling through the low mids. Hello. Here's our gain. Okay, so then high mids. Okay, this is going to be more for what? Intelligibility. So here's okay, so I'll gain it up for a second, and so you can see here's my S's and T's. Here I'm pulling them back so you can't hear me and hear what I'm saying. And so there you go. So that's going to give you a little clarity, especially with this little Shure 58, which kind of has a little bump at that point, but it rolls off pretty quick. And then here our last one is the super highs. Okay, so here's this like really high ends, you know, for if you want to get, you know, the clarity. This is one you got to be careful with sometimes, just because some guys that are, you know, they overdo it right on that. So, okay, so that will get it dialed in as good as we want here. Pull this back a little bit. Okay, so that's good, decent sound for talking. I want a little more lows, I can go like that. Okay, big sound, big peaks. Okay, so now that's the basic setup for using the compressor, the EQ, the gate, and the high pass filter. Again, so very basic. You know, we have it going into channel 1. Okay, here's the channel 1 fader, which sends the signal. Watch, when we do this, you get no signal in. Okay, that's sending. In this case, it's going from coming in. You have the input gain set. It's going from here, sending it to this level. See, because I can turn it off this way too, and then it's sending to the mains, which is the main volume there. Okay, so that's the basic signal flow. Now, just to kind of go into one other element, I'm going to turn all these off. Watch this. Okay, now I hear nothing. You hear nothing in the PA. But now I want to send it to one of my monitor speakers. Now, and purposefully what I did is instead of using number 1, I use number 2. Okay, so in the aux out 2 is right here. It says aux out. Okay, so this is the kind of just basics on, you know, the signal flow. And again, all of the FATS channels can work on this, on the auxes too. So, but what I'm going to do is just the basic thing of just sending the signal to that monitor. So if I want this channel, which I'm plugged into, let me just show you again. Okay, here I am in the mains right here. So, but right now when I turn it down, okay, you don't hear me. Okay, so none of this makes any difference. But now when I want to get that signal into my monitor, what I have to do is say, okay, I want to use it. I want this signal from channel 1 going into this aux 2, which is going to be my side filled JBL. So, which is the black ones from last week. So what I'll need to do is pull this up a little bit. Okay, but then I can see now this blue channel becomes a different thing. Basically what it does is it works as though, see, there's 16 of them here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, oops, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, there's 16 different, just like they match right here, 1 through 16. Okay, these are the channel 16s. Well, then this blue becomes the send for, now like these are being sent right now. Anything that I have on those would be sent to that channel 2. Okay, so now you can see me moving the fader. So then to be able to get a signal into number 2, well, I'm plugged in number 1 here. Okay, so that's the channel that I have going. So what I have to do is go like this. This is number 1. Hey, hey, hey. See here in the sound? No, that went into my monitor. That's very cool. Okay, so that's the way that is working. And so again, I don't think I want to go into being able to, you know, EQ it. You can, if you wanted to go like this, and you say do the same old thing, you can set up the EQ and the compression to that, you know, auxiliary channel as best as, you know, you want. or you can just undo it and or select something else and then go back here. So, but this is the mix pan. So this tells you where, okay, so this is channel 1 sending to auxiliary 2, and that's what we have plugged in. So now notice, I don't have any of these on. Okay, none of this is on. I'm just sending the signal there. You can tell the difference. It's a monitor signal. And again, we haven't done any EQ or compression. We don't need to do that for this demonstration. So right now, though, so if I don't want to hear that aux 2, you know, then I would just go boom, boom, take it off like that. And then if I wanted to hear the mains again, in this case, there we go. That's the main signal to the PA. Okay, so that's the front house speakers that we have. And again, selected. Then I can, you know, I can readjust any of the EQs that I would like. I want a little fatter sounding here. If I pull this back a little bit, okay, maybe we'll brighten it up a little, maybe a little higher. Okay, a little edge there too. Okay, so now that's a very full bass. Again, what is the, this is one thing you can put in your paper or your document. What is the goal of live sound? Really, it's the goal of every kind of like production. Full, clear, balanced. You can even call your paper the full, clear, balanced paper. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching, and we'll be seeing you in class soon, and good luck with the paper, and hope that it was clear as mud for you. Thank you. See ya.